Hey everyone, welcome back to the Incredible India podcast series. I'm Tim.
I'm Debbie.
So we've got some really interesting stuff shared with us today. It's an excerpt from Taj Mahal, Romance on Marble, Five Senses Tours.
That's right.
And it looks like, well, it seems you're curious about the whole experience of visiting the Taj Mahal and probably Agra Fort too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this piece gives a pretty fascinating look into a guided tour from Delhi. It highlights, not just what you see, but also some of the history behind these incredible places.
Okay.
So our mission for this deep dive, let's say, is to really unpack what makes this tour sound compelling, what kind of experience you might expect, and maybe touch on some of those interesting historical bits mentioned here.
Got it. Okay. Let's dig in. So the core thing seems to be this one-day trip, private, guided all the way from Delhi, hitting, like you said, the Taj Mahal and Agra Fort. It's a 12-hour day, they mentioned. That's substantial.
It is, yeah. It tells you they're planning a proper visit, not just a quick look. And that tagline, Romance on Marble, I mean, they're really leaning into the Taj Mahal as this, ultimate symbol of love.
Oh, definitely. Calling it maybe the most beautiful, most romantic man-made structure. It's a powerful image.
It really is. And it makes sense, doesn't it? The artistry, the symmetry, the story itself, it all feeds into that feeling.
Absolutely. And I thought it was interesting how they frame it almost like a must-do experience.
Yeah.
That line about two kinds of people, those who've seen the Taj and those who haven't.
Yeah, I saw that. It really amps up the significance, doesn't it? Like seeing it is some kind of defining moment.
Exactly. It sets a certain expectation.
And then they drop these hints about mysteries and hidden secrets, the tour covers. The one that jumped out at me was the unbuilt black marble Taj.
Ah, yes, the mirrored Taj theory.
Right. It's a popular idea, but it's interesting they specifically highlight it for discussion on the tour.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder what stories or evidence they share.
Well, that whole idea of a black Taj across the river.
Yeah.
It's super captivating, isn't it? Whether it's historically proven or not is still debated, by scholars.
Sure.
But it definitely adds this layer of, well, intrigue, storytelling. It gets you thinking beyond just the beautiful building itself.
Right. It's more than just architecture. It's a canvas for all these stories and myths that built up over centuries.
Precisely. And they kind of bring it back around, don't they? Ending that bit by saying it personifies eternal love.
Yeah.
Really sets the emotional scene for that part.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so then the focus shifts over to Agra Fort, which is conveniently right there on the Yamuna riverbank. Putting these two sites together makes a lot of sense.
It does. And it's crucial, I think, for understanding the whole Mughal era better. The Taj is this amazing personal artistic statement. But Agra Fort, that was the powerhouse, the seat of Mughal rule. The excerpt really hammers home its role in shaping modern India back in the, 15th and 16th century?
So you get both sides of the coin, almost.
Exactly. In one day, you see the artistic vision of the Taj and then the sheer administrative and military might of the fort. It's a really neat contrast. Gives you, complementary views of the Mughal Empire, which was just so influential.
And I liked how they pull in specific historical moments tied to the fort, like the Kohinoor diamond, the defeat of Himu, the 1857 rebellion. These aren't just random facts. They're major events that happen right there.
That's what makes it real, doesn't it? Knowing those things unfolded within those very walls, it brings history alive, much more than just reading about it.
Totally.
And then those other stories, they mentioned the stolen gates of Somnath Temple, Jahangir's chains of justice. That adds so much color.
Right. Makes it more memorable, more engaging than just dates and names.
And, okay, the Sherlock Holmes thing.
Yeah, that one made me pause. Sherlock Holmes visiting Agra Fort.
I know. It's such an unexpected little tidbit. It shows how history and, pop culture can sometimes intersect in weird ways. Definitely sparks your curiosity.
It really does. So yeah, the tour seems geared towards understanding the significance, not just seeing the sights. Which brings us to the whole private guided aspect they talk about.
And that seems key. The private tour means, focused attention, going at your own pace. That flexibility is probably really valuable with sites this big and detailed.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to feel rushed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the practical side, pick up and drop off from your Delhi hotel in an air-conditioned car. That's a huge plus. Takes the stress out of the logistics.
Definitely. Comfort is key for a long day like that. And they really emphasize the guided tour part too, having knowledgeable local guides.
Well, that's often where the real value is, isn't it? A good guide doesn't just recite facts. They provide context, point out details you'd miss. They bring the stories to life, especially with places like these where the visual beauty is just like the first layer. There's so much more underneath.
Good point. Oh, and they also mention their community focus, training and employing local guides, supporting livelihoods.
Yeah, I saw that too. That's a really positive thing to highlight. People are more aware now, I think, about the impact of their travel.
True. Knowing the company supports the local community adds an ethical dimension to it.
Definitely.
Okay, so moving on to the reviews. They included a bunch from TripAdvisor, which is always helpful, gives you a feel for what people actually experienced.
Yes. And the guides got a lot of praise, didn't they? That climber person.
Yeah.
On their second visit.
Right. Said it was magical again, mentioned Raj for photos and Ballwinder the driver. Repeat business like that says a lot.
It really does. And Wanderer 7 through 5983 mentioned Sanjay's storytelling, making it meaningful.
Yeah, at both sites.
And then Departure, 24,484 or something, called it enlightening, inspiring, again, crediting the guides.
And Lynn Traveler Dream Come True, clean SUV, incredible guide.
So the pattern is clear, isn't it? The guides are absolutely crucial to how good the experience is. They're not just informative, but engaging, helpful. They really shape the visit.
Seems like it. It paints a picture of a well-run operation, focused on the customer, and especially the quality of guiding. Okay, practical stuff then. Pricing.
Yep. Laid out based on group size 4 plus GPU 2-3 or just one person.
And it looks pretty all-inclusive, right? Pickup, drop-off, AC vehicle, guide, even entrance fees.
Yeah, that's good. No hidden costs, hopefully.
Oh.
Transparency is always nice. And they mentioned different car types, too, like an Innova or a sedan, depending on how many people. Shows they're thinking about comfort.
Makes sense. And the itinerary is super straightforward.
6:30 a.m. pickup in Delhi.
Taj Mahal, Agra Fort.
And back in Delhi by 6:30 p.m. A full day, but seems efficient.
Yeah. And they have that Book Today button with a calendar right there for April 2025. Makes it easy if you're interested.
Direct call to action. Smart.
Lastly, they just briefly mention other tours, related tours to places like Jaipur, Khajuraho, Rishikesh.
Right, just hinting that if you like this, they can take you elsewhere in North India, too.
Yeah.
Sort of opens the door to wider exploration with them.
Could be useful if you're planning a longer trip.
For sure.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive here, it sounds like this tour really offers a complete package. Romantic, as they say, but also historically rich, covering two absolute giants of Indian heritage, and all wrapped up in the convenience of a private guided day trip from Delhi.
I think so, yeah. The source material really pushes the idea of it being more than just sightseeing. It's about the history, the beauty, but also the comfort, the knowledgeable guides, the smooth logistics. It highlights that whole package.
It definitely encourages you to think about the value of that kind of supported experience, especially for such significant sites.
Agreed.
So if this deep dive into the Taj Mahal and Agra Fort tour has sparked your interest, you can send an email to contact@fivesensestours.com.
That's contact@fivesensestools.com, the number 5.
Right. Or you can call or send a WhatsApp message to +919-845-67446.
That number again is +91-984-56-77446.
And maybe a final thought to leave people with. Considering all these powerful stories, love, power, even those mysteries we talked about, all tangled up in these sites, what kind of personal connection might you discover if you went?